What's up, Spartan fans? It's Jacob Katsunika here, back for another edition of the Michigan State Insiders podcast. Couple just getting closer and closer to the late kickoff for the Spartans coming up against the USC Trojans, number 25 in the country. Game's all the way out there in LA. They're going to play in the very, very historic LA Coliseum. It's going to be a cool sight. I can't lie. I mean, it's always kind of cool to play, see the Spartans play a blue blood in USC. One of those programs where whenever they're on the schedule, you kind of have to take a pause and, oh, we're playing them, you know? But the game's here, and we're here to talk about the actual football in itself. Talk about USC like as if they were any other opponent, but it's going to be a real tough one for Michigan State. Definitely the underdogs headed into this one, and I think that's going to be reflected in how we break this game down. As we get closer, we're going to make some predictions about how the game is going to go. But when you're approaching this type of game where Michigan State is definitely going to face an uphill battle, I think you kind of have to talk about the things that have to go right for them to either have a shot or for them to if they do win, what would have happened? What happened in this game for them to pull off the upset? Well, probably most of the college football world is asleep, and they're going to look up and kind of go, whoa, Michigan State won. First things first, they need Nick Marsh and Mekhi Frazier to play. If Nick Marsh especially is removed from the equation for USC's defense, I don't know how much Michigan State's just really going to be able to do in general. Even add on Mekhi Frazier too. If both your top running back and your wide receiver are out, I don't know if MSU just has the horses. If they have the skill players to keep up with US, just to even get through USC's defense, let alone USC's offense. The other thing, they can't turn the ball over in this game. They have to make every single possession count because USC is going to put up some points. They're going to score. So somehow Michigan State's going to have to keep up possession over possession, maybe try to limit the number of possessions in this ballgame, kind of like what we saw Youngstown State trying to do. Just limit the sample size of the game. Try to limit the amount of plays in general, because the more plays there are in this game, simple as this, the more plays there are in this game, the more likely it is that USC is going to win. So it kind of has to go in the line of you have to play your own brand of football, but you have to try to hold on to the ball as much as possible. Try to keep Jaden Mayava off the field. But that also goes along the line. No turnovers. Ian Charles has done a good job protecting the ball this year. Only one pick that wasn't really. Again, no turnover is good, but it wasn't one where you're throwing your hat in the air. They need a quick start as well. They can't be playing from behind in this game. So if Michigan State wins the coin toss, they might want to take the ball just to try, at the very least, to try to get 7 points on the board immediately and try to put some pressure on USC's offense a little bit. Just because if they're behind, if it's say they get the ball for, even if they this can go a couple different ways, but say we're 5 minutes left in the first quarter and it's boom boom 14-0 USC. You can probably go to sleep. Just because Michigan State's offense is immediately going to go one-dimensional. They can only throw the ball, and just removing, and obviously USC secondary can obviously sit on that, and that leads to other problems. Defensively, they need to do a better job getting off the field on third down. That was an issue against Youngstown State, a couple long conversions. And they're going to have to try to buck up there. Another big key, they need to stop the early down runs. USC can run the ball. The best rushing offense Michigan State's has faced by far this season. They're averaging about 7 yards a carry as a team. So those first and second down plays, first and 10, second and 10, they need to try to keep those gains to 2-3, try to get a tackle for loss here and there, and try to get them into situations where they're going to throw the ball. It's still obviously a threat when it's third and long with the way Jaden Mayava has been playing for USC, but at the very least, it helps your chances a good bit. Another thing is they need the pass rush to show up. Simple as that. Haven't gotten enough pressure on the QBs of the last 2 weeks, especially. No sacks in that Boston College game, 2 in the Youngstown State game, and one of them was the final play of the game. I'm pretty sure it didn't have any effect on the actual outcome of things. So they need to find a way to get to the quarterback, Part of the reason they've been talking about that is that the QBs are getting the ball out really quick, and that's because they're not playing good enough man coverage. The first reads open a little bit too often, and that's going to be real tough. That's honestly my biggest source of pessimism in this game is that, again, the secondary hasn't been good enough lately. You keep watching back the games. It's just the quarterbacks getting out quickly. Man coverage hasn't been there. They had to play a little bit too much zone than you'd like to play against an FCS team last week, and now you're going up against USC. Mayav has been the best quarterback in the Big Ten so far against some weaker competition, but still he leads the conference by a good margin in passing yards, averaging 14 yards an attempt. And yeah, they have two great receivers, Jacoby Lane, Mekhi Lemon, who at any given moment could make a big play, get a 20-yard gash or 30-yard, bomb. That's gonna be real tough. The other thing is one source of optimism, I guess, is that penalties should probably be on MSU's side in this game. Michigan State's done a good job limiting the penalty yardage this season. They're only averaging 35 yards a game through 3. USC's in the 80s, so that differential could maybe, if say the averages hold in this one, that should help out Michigan State a little bit. But overall prediction, I'm not very optimistic about this one. I mean, USC's the favorite for a reason. It's just as simple as this. They're more talented and they're better on both sides of the ball. The offense is the best in the country statistically right now, 604 yards a game, 55 points a game. I don't think Michigan State's offense is bad by any stretch of the imagination. I actually really do like Michigan State's offense for the most part through 3 games, but it's like USC is the better quarterback. They have better running backs than Michigan State does. Wayman Jordan and a couple other guys have both been carrying the ball really well for them. They have a better wide receiver core, I think, and their offensive line, I think, has performed better as well. Again, they're averaging 7 yards a carry. Why? That's probably largely because of the offensive line giving them some good push. Defensively, it's a little bit closer. I'd say difference between both offenses, but still, edge goes to USC there. Allowing 24 points against an FCS opponent isn't an amazing sign. It was 27 against Boston College in regulation. They pitched a shutout against Western Michigan, so it's kind of hard to gauge when you kind of have those performances, I guess. But USC's defense has still been better, haven't allowed more than 20 points in a game to this point. 17 points against Purdue on the road, again, all the way across the country last week. They have one of the best safeties in America, Bishop Fitzgerald. Right now, he's got 3 picks, the only guy in the Big Ten who's already at that number. Again, it's USC. It's Lincoln Riley, guys. Like, it's relatively easy to recruit guys to go play football to USC, a blue blood in Los Angeles. And Lincoln Riley is one of the more well-regarded coaches in college football. Again, so overall, if I really had to put a score on this one, I'm looking at, I'd have to guess, USC 41, a lot of points, and Michigan State 20. I think this will be a relatively competitive game for the first half, give or take. MSU is going to come out firing. I mean, it's a cool game. You get to go to LSU. It's going to kind of play like that Oregon game last year. MSU kind of gets off to a nice start. Like, remember that one catch Nick Marsh had to get them down to like the 1 yard line, but you're ultimately just going to kind of see, at least on paper, some of the superiority I think USC has on talent-wise. They're more blue-chip guys, more talent across the board than Michigan State. You're going to kind of just see that take over as the night progresses. I think to some level, the coaches are going to do everything they can to prevent this, but at the end of the day, the 11 p.m. Eastern kickoff is going to matter a little bit. It's going to matter. Like, USC's used to playing, being up at this time zone, and Michigan State's not. They've traveled on Thursday, but it's going to be 2:30 a.m. It's going to be, when we get to the fourth quarter, like, if we have a close game, it's going to be 1:30, 1 o'clock on the East Coast in the Midwest. Like your body is not going to perform at its highest when it's that time. It's tough. UC's going to have the home crowd behind them as well. That's not going to help. I'm sure you'll have a fair bit of MSU fans making a trip out to LA. I mean, USC, its attendance numbers aren't, mind-boggling. especially given that they're in the LA area. There's so many people there. Michigan State's had more fans at their home games than USC so far this year, according to the attendance numbers. But still, you're flying across the country, playing a good team. They're ranked number 25 in the country. I think they should be ranked higher than that. But I mean, they play the games for a reason, though. Michigan State. There's a path to victory here. It's just very, very narrow, and it's just odds are to me. I don't think they follow it. They're playing a team that's better than them, I think, and it's a road game, so it's tough for me to really sit here and I'd be lying to you to sit here and like, oh yeah, Michigan State's going to win on a walk-off field goal. It's football. They're not going to go 12-0, and I think this is the game where Michigan State suffers their first setback of the season. But they'll head into the bye week after this one. I mean, we'll see what happens. If I'll sit here and say I'm wrong if they go out and win. Won't be displeased to say I'm wrong in that instance. But they'll have the bye week after that, and they have another challenge against Nebraska on the road. So we'll continue to give you guys a comprehensive coverage of everything we can about Michigan State on Michigan State Spartans on SI. Thank you all for watching, and continue to keep tuning in. Thank you, guys. I'll see you guys around.